Good evening and welcome to State of Business on our television. I'm Nadun Sirivardhana. Let's have a look at the headlines. President AKD stresses rural inclusion in the national economy. EDB Australia hosts seminar on export promotion under trade framework. News in detail. President Anura Kumara Dissanayake declared that rural communities must be integrated into the national economy as active stakeholders to ensure meaningful and inclusive economic growth. President Dissanayake said this speaking at the launch of the Praja Shakti National Program at the Temple Trees recently. The President emphasized that economic growth loses value if its benefits do not reach rural populations. He stated that while Sri Lanka has regained some macroeconomic stability, including stabilizing the rupee and reducing interest rates, the focus must now shift to expanding economic opportunities at the grassroots level. The Praja Shakti initiative is a co-government strategy aimed at empowering communities and bridging the gap between the national economic development and rural participation. The program seeks to reform existing aid mechanisms, build a unified data-driven delivery structure, and transform rural economic activity into sustainable enterprises. The official website for Praja Shakti was also launched during the event. Speaking at the event, Minister of Rural Development Dr. Upali Pannilage stated that rural poverty in Sri Lanka has continued to rise, reinforcing the need for a fresh and integrated approach. Dr. Pannilage noted that the number of people dependent on state aid has grown from 1.1 million in 2000 to nearly 1.8 million by the end of 2024. The minister cited this as evidence of ineffective poverty alleviation programs of the past and emphasized that the new initiative was designed after evaluating their shortcomings. The minister stressed that around 79% of Sri Lanka's population lives in rural or estate areas and must be central to any national development strategy. Dr. Pannilage explained that Praja Shakti aims to eliminate poverty through targeted economic empowerment, better data systems, and minimize wastage in aid delivery mechanisms. The program will extend down to divisional secretariat levels and promote local planning based on community needs. The President's Fund received a boost of 100 million rupees as a donation from the Lanka Indian Oil Company. The President's Fund also recognized 361 high-performing GCE advanced level students from Sri Lanka's southern province. The donation was officially handed over by LIOC's Managing Director Deepak Das to Dr. Nandika Sanath Kumar Nayaka, Secretary to the President at the Presidential Secretariat recently. Just 2 days later, the President's Fund disbursed 100,000 rupees each to 361 top-performing A-level students from Galle, Mathura and Hambantota districts. The event recognized students who excelled in 6 subject streams during the 2023 and 2024 examinations with 36.1 million rupees allocated for this initiative. Speaking at the event, Dr. Kumar Nayaka stated that under the leadership of President Anura Kumara Dissanayake, the fund has been overhauled to improve transparency, decentralization and equitable service delivery. He stressed the government's intent to ensure that state support reaches those who truly deserve it, particularly in the education sector. Minister of Industry and Entrepreneurship Development Sunil Handunhetty remarked that the fund, once marred by misuse and political bias, has now been transformed into a people's fund. Minister of Women and Child Affairs Saroja Polraj highlighted the government's focus on empowering youth through education, noting that today's students will become tomorrow's policymakers, innovators and global professionals. Stay tuned, we will return after this commercial break. Welcome back. The Sri Lanka Export Development Board, in collaboration with the Australian High Commission and Australia's Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, hosted a seminar in export promotion recently. The seminar was held under the framework of the Australia-Sri Lanka Trade and Investment Framework Arrangement. Opening the session, EDB Chairman and CEO Mangala Vijayasinghe highlighted the importance of adopting global best practices to improve market access, trade facilitation and support for Sri Lankan SMEs. The seminar featured 2 technical sessions. The first explored how Australian exporters navigate free trade agreements and manage regulatory barriers to ensure smoother market access. The second session provided an in-depth overview of Australia's export promotion strategies. A panel discussion on SME export growth featuring experts from the EDB, the Department of Commerce and Austrade delved into practical strategies for empowering small and medium enterprises in Sri Lanka based on successful Australian models. The Colombo Stock Exchange, Securities and Exchange Commission, the Sri Lanka Institute of Directors and KPMG launched an initiative to support the growth and longevity of family-owned businesses in Sri Lanka. The Family Business Forum held in Colombo recently brought together nearly 150 family business owners and experts. The event explored vital themes such as succession planning, governance frameworks, separation of family and business wealth, and the benefits of public listing. Chairman of the SEC, Senior Professor DBPH Disabandara, urged Sri Lanka to shift from a savings-oriented mindset to one focused on investment, highlighting the role of capital markets in unlocking long-term national growth. A panel discussion followed featuring prominent leaders including Dilshan Weerasekara, Imtiaz Yusuf Ali, Senaka Kakiriwaragodage, Prakash Shafter, Rushanka Silva and Daniel Trimachi. Moderated by KPMG's Tamali Rodrigo, the panel addressed real-world challenges and opportunities in family business transitions. A parliamentary delegation from Nepal visited the Hambantota National Port, signalling growing regional interest in Sri Lanka's logistics and maritime infrastructure. The delegation, representing Nepal's federal parliament, toured the Hambantota International Port to explore investment prospects and regional cooperation opportunities. The group included senior officials such as Secretary General Padma Prasad Pandey and other members of the Nepalese Parliament Secretariat. Senior officials from Hambantota International Port Group highlighted the port's strategic location, multipurpose infrastructure, and its emergence as a key maritime and logistics hub in the Indian Ocean. The discussions emphasized potential cross-border commercial collaboration, including opportunities in trade, logistics, and industrial partnerships. HIPG also invited Nepalese investors and enterprises to consider using Hambantota as a regional base for growth. Stay tuned for the stock update. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on negative notes today. The All Share Price Index dropped by 106.14 points to close at 18,042.20, and the S&P SL20 dropped by 26.04 points to close at 5,339.99. The turnover was over 2.4 billion rupees and over 153 million shares were traded. Up next are Forex rates. That's all our news for today. For this and more, subscribe to our channel on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. Take care and good night.